This is the week of cliffhangers. Like, I know the season is about to end. I know a bunch of anime is about to wrap up in maybe 1 to 2 episodes. But damn it, this week has just been a big middle finger to a lot of anime fans when it comes to an anime episode ending with the cliffhangers. Because this episode of Arslan, I think you all are very aware, if you've already watched this episode, that it leaves us on a cliffhanger where we're like, fuck, why? Because the OTP, the main couple that we're all shipping, finally meets each other, and she finally knows who Arslan is, the boy she's been meeting up with since the beginning of the series. And so, seeing that ending, I'm like, fuck. Like, it ends right there, and we gotta wait an entire week. And sad thing is, I think we have only 2 episodes left, and it's over, so, kind of sad. It's really sad, but back on to her. So she gets kind of a taste of war, actually, in a certain sense. She kills a person, and in the act of killing someone, you see it to where she looks at her hand, she's like, and you can see to where the tragedy of war is starting to affect her. So that's obviously going to play some form of role for character development in the future for her. I noticed that in the terms of when she first struck down her first guy. So yeah, that's definitely going to be used for character development. But moving into other things that was going on besides the romance at the end to, you know, the waifu status of her going to be with Arslan, let's talk about the episode. So, Zondis, or I think that's how you say his name, is like Zondis, or Karlan's son. I forget how to fully pronounce his name. It's like Zondis or whatever. Well, the son of Karlan, he seems a lot more, I guess, honorable than I thought he was. Because when I first saw his character, he seemed like he was a loud, obnoxious asshole that was like, I'm gonna kill you, Dardoon! You know, that's what I thought at first. That's what I thought. But looking at him in this episode and seeing his motive of why he is in this war, it makes a lot more sense. And actually, I respect Karlan's son so much more now after this episode. Because, see, my perspective of him was a dude that just wanted to kill Dardoon and Arslan just because he wanted to join the side against Arslan because his father was killed. Which I can understand that, but I was like, okay. Well, we come to find out the motive behind it was because he wants to clear his father's name. His father's name that was rubbed through the mud and, you know, kind of just ruined his entire family's name. And so he wants to have it to where Silver Mask will obtain the throne because he wants his father's name to be cleared. Because in a sense, what Karlan did, yes, he was a treacherous bastard and what he did was kind of fucked up, but at the end of the day, Karlan did kind of do somewhat of karmic justice, because if it is what really happened in the past, and what happened to Silver Mask really did happen, to where his family is ripped off the throne, I guess it's just karma, and that kind of makes a lot of sense. So his family is rightfully the heir in a certain way, according to bloodline, and so seeing it like that, and the way Karlan's son was just talking about that, and how, you know, Karlan did what he did, I could see now why he wants to kind of clear his family's name, because his father's not really, so to say, in the wrong completely. Yes, what he did killed thousands of people, and that is fucked up and wrong, but the motive behind it wasn't necessarily evil. So, seeing what Zondis did in this, I give full respect to him. I give straight up full respect to him for doing what he did and fighting for what he believes in until he drops dead on the floor, which his body ends up disappearing thanks to magic. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not a big fan of the magic of the series. I'm really not. I really not. I wish that was honestly axed out of the series, because I would prefer some form of just regular medieval fighting. That's what I prefer in the series. But you can't have everything. But anyways, I'm willing to bet that he is probably going to get back up or revived or healed in some way, because for his corpse to just disappear like that, he's probably going to be fine. Maybe he's going to get healed, and then he's going to have a rematch against Dardoon once again in the later future, maybe for a possibility of a Season 2. But moving on, the fight between captains or generals of the army, and they're fighting for their beliefs or what they believe in. I love that scene so much. I think that is one of my favorite scenes of this episode. Just to see how these two generals of their individual army are fighting each other, and they were forced into this situation because of their roles or their, I guess, paths they've chose throughout their life. For instance, it's kind of similar, not exactly similar, but it reminds me a lot of the Maryland versus Netero fight in a certain way, like how they're forced to fight because of their status or what positions they're currently in. This kind of reminds me a lot of that when it comes to Netero versus Maryland. Now, I'm not saying it's similar in terms of the full meaning of what that fight meant. I'm just saying when it comes to them being forced to fight each other because of the paths they chose, that right there, I like that. And it definitely made me have a mini fangasm just to see how they were doing what they were doing because of what they believed in. And I love that. And then, moving past that, you also have it to where the war, as we know, obviously, is continuing on in this episode, and it really gets underway to where we realize that the end of the series is upon us. Like, the end of Season 1 is coming closer, because the fight has begun, Silver Mask versus Arslan has begun, they're going at it, and we have it to where, at the end, we see the cliffhanger to where we don't really know what's going to happen, and it might lead into a situation to where all shit and hell will go down for Arslan's army if something goes wrong in that tent. But for now, though, the episode is leading into a very good conclusion of the series. I'm liking the direction of it, and I'm personally loving the way Arslan is starting to give development to all these individual characters. Besides our main cast, it's giving it to these side characters that are with Silver Mask, which is allowing me to appreciate them a lot more and understand what drives them to participate in this war. Because, see, one of the best things to have when you watch an anime that's focused around war is to be able to understand both sides of a character, both sides of the war. When you can look at a war and not really choose which side is righteous or not, that's when you know you have a good war going on. Like a war that's driven by huge motives that have so much weight and meaning, which I'm not saying that Silver Mask has a really, I guess, 100% good reason to go to war, because, I mean, yes, he may be the proper descendant and bloodline to the throne, but he did kind of not give a shit about his people and just cast them aside and let them die just for he can get the throne. He's too obsessed with the throne. So, in a sense, I'm really not on Silver Mask's camp, because the way he's going, he's very selfish and greedy, and a king like that that's driven by rage and madness, even if he might clean up his act later on, why would you choose someone like that obviously Arslan is the better candidate to be the next king? I mean, Arslan already has this huge backing with Narcissus. I mean, you just need Narcissus, helping you out, and you're fine. You'll be a great king, because, I mean, look what Narcissus did. Once again, he proven that he is smart and intelligent, outwitting his opponents to, like, the very end, and crushing them with the fake camp. So that's my thoughts of this episode of Arslan. So tell me your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.